Let's talk about linebacker. Boy, you lose a lot in Nick Jackson, Jay Higgins. Carson Shire, a guy who's dealt with injuries his whole career, but when he was a freshman, people were oohing and eyeing over his potential future, and now he's a senior. Jaden Harrell's a senior. Those guys have been patiently waiting their turns, and Jay Higgins is a guy who waited his turn, through the era of Jack Campbell, and it paid off last year. Could we see the same ascension from a Jaden Harrell or a Carson Shire? You hope so. But your confidence level at linebacker, you can't get much better than Seth Wallace combined with Phil Parker, DC. So not as much worry as maybe on paper it would appear.
I have a fair amount of concern, simply because those guys don't have that many snaps on up and down the field football. They've been good on specialty teams. That's a good sign, but we still have to see them do it in the game. What gives me a lot of hope, though, about Harrell, why couldn't he be the next Jay Higgins? I think that's entirely possible because he's paid his dues. And if he's had the same attention to detail that Jay Higgins has had, I think it's entirely possible that he'll be known as the next Jay Higgins. That's something we can hope to happen because Jay certainly played winning football.
And Nick Jackson played a lot of football, totaled a lot of tackles in college from his time at Virginia to Iowa.
It is one of my concerns. Can our linebackers be as productive as what we've become accustomed to? That's a challenge for a new group of linebackers.
And then a few names to watch for: Jackson Rexroth, Jaden Montgomery, Landon Van Kekerix. Those are some guys who have appeared here and there on depth charts, have worked in on special teams. Zach Tweed is a senior at Astoria County. So Story City to be exact. So those are guys maybe keep an eye on, but I definitely think the top two are going to be important. Their health is going to be of utmost importance, Harrell and Shire. And Shire has struggled to stay healthy throughout his career. Want to thank our sponsor here from the Hawkeye of the Storm, Under the Kitchen. Randy Engel has been with us through it all. We appreciate Randy and his awesome artwork down in Des Moines. Check it out if you haven't already done so. Visit Under the Kitchen on Facebook, or you can also visit his new website. It's underthekitchen.square.site. This is a way you can support NIL and the Iowa Athletes Plus. You're supporting this show and a small business down in Mitchellville. Again, that's underthekitchen.square.site. Thank you to Randy Engel at Under the Kitchen in Mitchellville. Cash is another interesting one, Don. It'll probably be Lutmer, but boy, they've had some good ones at that position. And you got to give Phil credit for just figuring out a way with this 4-2-5 to find the right piece, because it's such an important piece on the field when you're in that formation. None of us have seen a lot from Zach Lutmer. I mean, I just know he's got really good speed. He's a great athlete. He's another small town Western Iowa kid, but that's got to be a position we wonder about with the departure of Castro.
Yeah. There was a time, of course, when people were concerned about how well Cooper DeJean would play when he was a young guy. So I'm not expecting anyone to be the next Cooper DeJean. That's not fair. But is it entirely possible that they'll come in and play winning football? Absolutely. That's the tradition of the Iowa program. When it's your turn to step up and perform, you do it. You realize, I guarantee these players that are new to a lot of playing time, they recognize it's a huge responsibility, and I'm not going to let down this team. I'm not going to let down my teammates, my coaches, and my fans, our fans. I'm not going to do it. They're going to move heaven and earth to get the job done. That's how serious they take the assignment that they have.